Welcome to Tavern Talk. We are a live talk show based on the epic fantasy series Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan. Joining me, as always, is my brother Dan.
Yo!
Sir Dance-A-Lot. Jansen the Gleeman.
Like that.
Yeah, brother Dance-A-Lot. Jansen the Gleeman, Dad Swaits Today, Beth Doman. And we have a special guest which we will bring in shortly. Today we are starting a new series where we're going to be discussing the character arcs of certain main characters, compare them from the books to the show. What do they get right? What do they get wrong? We're still mourning the loss of our beloved show, but we'll keep the hopes and dreams alive. There's still hashtag Save Watt on all your socials, so if you have not signed the petition, go do that.
It's at 90,000 right now.
Mm-hmm. That's not, you can't shake a stick at that. All right, well, who we can shake a stick at, though, is our lovely guest. Let's bring her in and then start off the festivity. She's the biggest Perrin fan there is.
I hate Perrin. My name's Shelby. I hate Perrin. I hate Shelby. I hate Shelby. My name's Perrin. My name's Perrin. I hate Shelby. My name's Shelby. I hate Perrin.
All right.
Where's she at, right?
All right. Yes, biggest Perrin fan. We found her. She's in the show. She wants to keep the dream alive for Perrin.
I think Ryan, I think the show converted Dovey into a Perrin fan. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Right, Dovey? Is that what happened?
I'm like crying real tears right now.
Yeah.
No, we did not. No.
All right. Well, that's your Mistress Dovey. Please just give us your honest opinions throughout the show. We can't wait to get into it, brother Dan. We got so many characters to dive into. We thought we chose Perrin because maybe, I don't know why we choose Perrin. Oh, we were talking about Perrin, and Jansen has this amazing theory about Perrin and Hopper. Guys, this is a full spoiler episode, so if you've not read the entire series, please be warned. We're going to be talking about the implications of everything all the way to the end of the book series.
Right. So Perrin is one of the characters that initiated the one of the first changes, right? Right. It was like episode 2, I think, that we learned that Perrin was married.
Episode 1?
1, right?
Episode 1.
Okay, very first episode.
Yeah, and that he had a wandering eye.
He had it. So I guess let's jump into that decision that was made. It seemed like there was some tension between Layla, Perrin's wife, and Perrin about Egwene. It seemed that Perrin kind of had a crush on Egwene, even though married Layla young, and Layla didn't go to the braid ceremony and shit. Like, there was some real beef going on.
I don't think that was it.
What? All right.
What?
Talk to me, Jensen.
Well, there's evidence that says so. Do you remember when Elias told Perrin, "Those people are not your pack. Neither was your wife."
Right.
He said
what
that
a dick
for
move.
a reason. But he said that for you don't put that in a script for no reason.
It's either Zionism
no.
or she's a dark friend.
I think she was a dark friend. That's what I think.
Okay.
Well, Rafe came out straight away and said that was
I
not
know.
true,
So
because
here,
everybody
yes.
was hypothesizing that when that was
All
the
right.
only reason it would justify
Can't confirm it,
killing
though.
her.
Okay, so why not?
What
In
do
the
you
show,
think,
right?
Debbie? What were you saying, Debbie?
I mean, Rafe can't confirm that if she is a Dark Friend, if they make changes later on in the seasons that reveal it.
I mean, I agree with you. I was hoping she would be, because it would be the only reason that would justify him fridging his wife in this
Yes,
episode.
yes, I know.
There was weirdness. It did seem like maybe she was attacking him or maybe not, right? Like there was this ambiguity. Go on, Jansen.
I think they made a tactical error and tried to fix it. I think that they were like, okay, we can't have the Luhans in there for budget. We can't have those characters, but we still need somebody that grounds Perrin and Nimitz Field. What are we going to do? Oh, let's have him be married and kill his wife.
But it's like married to an outsider,
I
like
know.
that was kind of like,
I think they did that and used it that way so they wouldn't have to do things for his character arc later on in the series. But it just, I don't know, though. It didn't make sense to me.
Would we be shocked if we learned that Layla was like Rafe's niece? Hi, Hi, Dad. How you doing? What's
Hi.
I mean,
all right, what do you? I mean,
said no, no.
all right,
right.
Let's go. Bottom row. What do you guys think of the whole Layla arc? Be it as it is.
I just thought it was stupid.
Okay.
I didn't really understand it. I feel like that was I know, I get it, adaptation, change, whatever, but I think if you're going to shock an audience with that big of a change in like the first 10 seconds, it's really going to polarize people straight off. And so I think that's kind of what happened. Like, it took me a while in that episode to kind of be like, what the fuck is going on here with Perrin?
Yeah.
And why is this? Who is this woman? Where did she come from? And I know that there is a Layla mentioned in the books, and they sort of drew it from that one sentence of her in the book. So it's kind of like, yeah, but I didn't remember that. So I was just sort of like, I don't know what's going on here, and it threw me into like left field for a moment. I didn't like it.
What do you think, Katie?
So, I mean, to me, Perrin is, for almost all the books, a sad sack who just is whining about how nothing is going his way, and he's got all these excuses for why he's got to be careful and do all these things, and so for me it made perfect sense to turn him immediately into this whiny sad sack who has all these excuses for why he feels like he can or can't do things, there's so much of the internal monologue of oh, he's this big guy and he's afraid of hurting people, and they put it out there immediately. So it made a lot of sense to me as someone who views Perrin primarily through that lens of kind of a commiserating person who is afraid of taking action for various reasons.
Huh.
We have
I
this.
like
So Beth responded this. So there was Brandon Sanderson had suggested that if there was going to be a death, he had suggested that he would kill Master Luhan. And I personally agree with this. I think it would give more gravitas for him being a blacksmith in general and all this. What do you think about Layla being the sacrifice that he had to do?
So I don't like it, okay? But I understand that they needed to do something to give Perrin a foil. They needed to create conflict for Perrin's character, because what we saw in that episode was literally Perrin going into a berserker rage. That is exactly what happened. That is Perrin's personality. Perrin is very reserved and withdrawn because he knows that part of himself and he doesn't want that part to come out. And the fact that he unleashed that part and it ended up killing the person he loved the most in the world was
Egwin.
the biggest
And his
flashpoint.
and his unborn child.
That's
All right, well,
we-
And
right.
his unborn
Never-
child, and there was
Yeah.
this whole
They
weird
put that in there
triangle.
too. Remember
Yeah.
that? They put that in there too.
But
Ugh.
so this is the thing though, right? So and the problem with Perrin,
It was Matt's kid.
he is all
No, I was gonna say, could it be someone else's kid? And that's what the conflict
go.
is.
Yeah,
No.
axe right to the
you
belly.
guys, why are
Right
you
to the
putting
uterus.
stuff that oh my lord.
What if it was Abel Cawthon's kid? Oh no.
I have another point.
I'm sorry. No, hold on. Let's let Beth finish, and then
After
Okay.
Beth, I want to go
Yeah.
next.
W, you're next.
They needed something to give Perrin the kind of reluctance to violence again, right? And they further developed that with the entire conversations that he had with Isla with the Tuathalan. And he truly was a conflicted soul. And I really also think that what was going to happen or what was supposed to happen with Perrin's arc didn't happen because of Matt, of Barney Harris not coming back and having to rewrite those last 2 episodes to replace Barney, because we all know that that conversation between Padden Fane and Perrin in episode 8 would have been with Matt. It would not have been with Perrin, because Matt was the person who originally had the dagger. Padden Fane ends up with the dagger. So that wouldn't have been Perrin. There would have been something different for Perrin if Barney Harris had come back. I do believe that. I don't know if we'll ever see the original scripts from 7 and 8, but I honestly don't think that the way they went with Perrin at the end of season 1 was the way that it was supposed to go in the original storyboards and script writing.
Right.
Well, before that, though, there was some book to show continuity. They went
Yes.
to Shadow Logoth. He and Egwin got separated from the rest of the pack. This was true to book as far as I remember. Correct, Jensen?
Yeah, it was. But you know, what I don't want to happen, and I understand Mistress Dovey's views on Mr. Aybara here, but we also,
Lord Goldeneyes, you mean?
yeah, Lord Goldeneyes, we want to talk about some of the things that they got right, and I want to bring one up that they got, I believe they really got right, and that was his camaraderie with Rand. You know, in the books, Perrin trusts Rand. Perrin is his guy. You know, Perrin has Rand's back. And, you know, they showed that. They showed the camaraderie with him. I like the way that they did it with those two. Yosha had really good chemistry with everybody, so that was great.
Let me ask you on that, to your point, who was best friends with who? Who
You
was
mean in the book?
Rand's? Yeah. Who was Rand's best friend? Who was Matt's best friend? And who was Perrin's best friend? I'm not sure I know.
I think they
I
were all
wanna know.
equal. I think it was equal.
I thought in
Because-
the beginning it was Rand and Perrin, and then when they went on the road, it was Rand and Matt because they got to hold each other.
They
Dude,
did
the
get to
last,
hold each other.
the very last thing Matt says to Rand, that's one of the greatest things a friend would ever say to me. So, and it was, I'm the one who saved my rank. So there.
Yeah, that's when. Who is Rand's best friend in the books from the Two Rivers?
I think it's the two of them. They were sort of always. It was Rand and Perrin and Matt were always converged together.
Okay.
I know that. I feel like there was you got a few viewpoints, like when they found out that Rand could channel and that he was not necessarily the Dragon Reborn, but he could channel. You know, Matt was kind of like, "Oh shit,
I'm out of here."
Little standoffish, I'm out of here. But he was also, you know, he worked it out in his mind that Rand was. Part of the plot.
Do you agree?
And best friend is not a person; it's a category.
Yes, it
If you've ever
was.
seen the Mindy Project.
No,
Okay. No. Okay.
Best
That's a
friends,
very good point. That's a very good point, actually.
Wait, have a point before we move away from Layla.
Okay.
Go for it.
I think that from a very practical standpoint, I think it did a very straightforward job of indicating that they had aged up the characters. Because in TV,
That's
we're
definitely
constantly
good.
seeing 20-year-olds playing high school age
Yeah, that's a
people.
good
So
point.
like just looking at them, if they had not had like other than Rand and Egwene fucking in the Winespring Inn, like we would not have a concept of what life stage they are in. But the fact that Perrin is old enough to be married, like it's an immediate clear indication that they have aged them up at least slightly.
Well, Beth, how did
married and Rand and Egwene are not yet married? Like that's like
right,
you know,
and they're there. And so, what did you think about the depiction of the marriage, Beth? There was obviously some sort of tension. Did you think that was relayed well?
I mean, it was fine. Honestly, I guess that they had. This is the one part of episode 7 that I absolutely hated was when they got very YA. Oh my God, you had a thing for Egwene. That's why you asked Layla to marry you.
I've only loved one woman.
Right. So like it was so like for my generation, Beverly Hills 90210. It was like
God.
total teen drama
Yeah.
bullshit. And that was like the one thing that I really disliked about episode 7, which was the best episode of season 1 in my opinion, besides the last half of episode 4. But anyway, it really didn't at the end of the day, to me, Perrin previously being married has very little to do with past season 1 Perrin's plot point moving forward. It was the main reason in season 1 why he never fought anybody or did anything. When he met with Elias, that kind of added another dimension to Perrin for me, like seeing him with yellow eyes in the beginning of season 2 and or was it season 3 where he was season 3 with the yellow eyes. But like the bigger issue with Perrin in season 2 was more coming to grips with the wolves and less coming to grips with Layla's death. Like by that point he had already done it. So really it was fine. I mean, I hate that he fridged his wife. I hate it. I will stand on that hill. I will die on that hill. That they would have been better off making him not married. And although it wouldn't have resonated, it wouldn't have hit as hard. Like he would have been better off killing. I guess if the Luhans would have been his surrogate parents, it would have been better off killing a father figure than killing a wife figure. Well, so going back to your original question, yes, probably would have made more sense if he killed Master Luhan, but
he didn't need to kill anybody. Like, okay, so I don't feel like we got enough. I know we're talking about Perrin, so I'm going to try to keep talking about Perrin, but I don't feel that we got enough time with Perrin and Layla for it to matter. Like their marriage didn't matter to me at all. I didn't.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I didn't know who she was, and then she was dead. So it was kind of like, well, there you go. So it didn't. When we're talking about like, oh, she created conflict. Like I know that was the purpose, but it didn't create any conflict for me.
It didn't resonate because there was no.
He could have.
There was no emotional. There was no emotional connection to Layla.
He lost his mind and like hacked a Trolloc to pieces, and then been like, "What the fuck is wrong?" And that could have created his violence. He didn't even have to kill Master Luhan. Like he could have just gone into a berserker rage, for the first time maybe, and lost control over whatever, and then that could have created the situation with the Tuatha on where she's like, has that axe ever, done anything good for you? And then he's like, oh shit, I hacked up a Trolloc and it's disgusting. And so there were loads. I think there were other ways to approach that.
Yes.
And I feel like that's why that didn't resonate so much with me and many others.
But I have to interject here. You're coming at it from the stance of somebody who's read the books and knows Perrin.
Yeah,
they needed to do something for people who are show watchers who don't know Perrin. They needed to create a grievous, terrible, life-altering thing for him, Whereas you and I come at it from, or all of us come at it from a much different stance because we are familiar with who Perrin is. We are familiar with his ultimate work, the way he works through all of that. Because this is the thing Perrin fights with the entire series of the books, like the entirety of the books. He is fighting with reconciling himself to wanting to be a person of peace and wanting just to go home and live a regular life. And, so we have to understand that from a book reading standpoint. Yes,
Yeah,
it was
I wonder
unnecessary.
though.
But from a show standpoint, they needed to do something really, really drastic, or they thought they did, for it to convey that same weight of gravity in what Perrin did.
Sure, and I feel like if they had established him as he is the peaceful teddy bear, he would never, and then he went into a violent. Then
We
that
love
could have
peaceful
really,
teddy bears.
yeah, that could have really created the oh my god, Perrin fucking lost his mind, and he didn't necessarily have to kill a human per se, and that could have, as a viewer, you see, lovable teddy bear, hack something to pieces, and you're kind of like, Jesus Christ.
I mean, once again, 8 episodes.
Sure.
All right, so now check this out. Like for me, I had this part of me that was like, hey, I always thought Perrin liked Egwin, and when we've had debates about it on the show for different reasons. Our first time readers, like, I think they didn't pick, maybe they picked up on it. It's been a while, but like I always thought he liked her, and for them to add that didn't necessarily bother me, but also what they did to make him have a pregnant wife and be like gaga for Egwin, that's not my Perrin.
That's not Perrin.
He's not
Like,
but let's not say he was gaga for Perrin, for Egwin.
No, Nynaeve had to be like, go home to your wife, Perrin. Like, it was
he was like,
that,
hey.
but that, so okay, as somebody who,
and then they're on the road and they're snuggling and stuff, and he like had Morningwood. It was all embarrassing.
He had a boner. Yeah, he had a big boner.
What?
Oh my
Guys,
God.
and I actually was wondering, what did your first time readers think when the Layla was killed?
They honestly, I think they were like, shrug, meh, oh well. I don't remember them having much of a reaction.
Yeah, like Layla.
Because we didn't get to know this person at all, besides that there was some strife and she apparently was pregnant. And that's all we got to know from her. I could be wrong, but that's what I remember. Ryan, does that sound right? They were like, okay, well, she died. That sucks.
Yeah, I think that's the take. I think Lady Catherine, had like a really gnarly joke about the baby, maybe, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, probably.
I personally don't think that Perrin had any kind of love for Egwene in the books at all.
In the books, no.
I think any affection. He shot down Elias very, very, very early after, what was it, the Shadow Lorgoth Shadows Waiting chapter. He told her,
Elias, you gonna hit that?
And not only did Perrin do that, Perrin said his affection for her because of friendship, like a sister. Matt did the same thing later on in The Great Hunt, like when she said, if it's Egwene, it's Egwene, that's all that is to it. It's he didn't have any love for Egwene, not in the books.
All right, here comes a poll.
Yeah, pull away.
Pull. This is a big pull.
Pull away. But this is all right before it starts to get a little different. Sure. There's this Egwene Layla triangle. But then we meet Elias, and Elias as his guide is a little different than the Elias we read in the books. I like the actor that portrayed Elias a lot. I liked how he kind of had this earthy dreadlock kind of like
He
cool. Yeah,
did. He looked straight from Venice Beach.
he looked rad. He would
he
be
could be
the hippie
playing
sage.
guitar on a. He could be playing guitar on a roller skates.
Hippie sage, yeah, for sure. But Elias did not prove to be as large of a role in this series than it was in the books initially.
I think he was bigger. I think it was bigger in this series than he was in the book so far.
All right, talk
Where
to
they
me.
were in the timeline. If you think about it, like he was in one chapter until much later in the books, right? You know, like he was in a few episodes in the series, and you know that's because they merged him and Huron.
Mhm.
You know
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons why.
Mhm.
You know, but I thought that the actor did fairly good for what he had for the, you know, I mean, Elias doesn't, and now we're starting to get into the Wolf Brother, my Wolf Brother theories, but I'm not sure how big of an impact Elias had to be. I think Hopper should have been a bigger impact than Hopper was.
Right.
You know, that
But
made me
I
upset
felt
that we didn't see it.
I mean, when you think about it, though,
nice, right?
Hopper doesn't really have a whole lot to do until the later books
You're right.
in the Wolf Stream. So
Other than warning Perrin.
right.
That's about
So
it.
but when you think about it, when you think about like what I said, they needed a plot point to drive Perrin's storyline, right? So at the beginning of season 1, we get him killing his wife. He is starting to work through and embrace who he is after everything that happened with being taken by the White Cloaks, being tortured by Eamon Valda, being rescued by the wolves, all of that stuff. And then we get at the end of season wow. The end of season 2, we have
I'm sorry.
God.
All right, I'm here.
Beth is patiently waiting.
I'm here.
Like
I'm listening.
every teacher Dan ever had in school had to give him that look you're giving him.
Yeah, I know. All right, I'm here. All right, go on.
anyway, in season 2, episode 8, he sees the same thing happen to Hopper, done by somebody else that he did to his wife.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when he kind of came. It was almost like a full circle moment for him where he embraced who he was trying to ignore. And Hopper's death needed to happen for Perrin to become the Perrin of season 3.
Mm-hmm.
And whether you liked that it happened or not, I mean, I think for consolidation purposes, for adaptation purposes, it was really good. It was smartly done. And it really brought the conflict of Perrin and the White Cloaks much quicker. And it was, instead of him just being a rumored dark friend that, you know, Perrin, because he had been captured, and then what's his name?
Dane?
No, not Dane Bornhold, the other dude.
Hopper?
No, talking about him and Volga.
No, not Eamon
Vol-
Valda. The guy in what was his name? Child
Buyer?
Buyer.
Child
Thank you,
Buyer?
Buyer. So, like, if you remember in the books, right? Buyer tried to tempt Perrin and Egwene to escape. He's like, "I'll let you escape," and then Perrin is thinking, like, "Okay." And so, Moraine, Lan, and Nynaeve ended up rescuing them, and that, of course, didn't happen in the books. I mean, in the show, but then we had Buyer was also in Falma. He was also on Tom and Head, so he recognized Perrin, and again that did not happen in the show. So they had to have a way to create this conflict with Perrin specifically and the White Cloaks. That's why Dane Bornhold being in that village when he met Perrin was so important for the season finale, for Dane Bornhold to see Perrin killing his dad. That was what created that conflict, that instead of bringing in Pedro Nile and all of the other stuff, they ended up bringing in, it was a direct conflict between Perrin as a person and Dane Bornhold as a person representing the
Correct. And
so
Dane
it was really well done.
Dane Bornhold had a very legitimate reason to not like him.
Absolutely.
Actually,
It was really well developed. I
don't think so, actually. I don't think so. And can I tell you guys why? This is the biggest problem I have with this entire thing. So in the books, and this is obviously a big spoiler, but in the books, the White Cloaks wanted to hang Perrin originally because he killed some of them.
Yeah, he killed two of them. Yes.
First, right?
Yes.
But in the show, and as is in real life, if I ever met an entity of anybody who tied me to a chair and tortured me, all bets are off. Any one of those motherfuckers are dead as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, good point.
So, I don't find Perrin hurting any White Cloak in the show to be a bad thing. They tortured him for no reason.
They cut the skin off his back.
I'm saying that Dane Bornhold met Perrin as an individual before he knew about Perrin's history with Eamon Balda and the other White Cloaks at that camp. That has nothing. I'm talking about the fact
Two Rivers.
Two Rivers. Like, exactly.
And I thought that set up perfectly for season 3 for the White Cloaks to be at the Two Rivers. It was better than the books, to be honest. I like that development.
I also like that because it really gave you the impression that Dane and Perrin might have been friends. They might have gotten along, or they might have had a friendlier relationship.
They were going to be
pillow.
Oh, right. Ty Shard, that photo. Oh my gosh!
If I had a nickel,
look at him looking at that ass. Look at Valda just staring at Perrin's ass.
Wait. That's right. If I had a nickel, what?
For every time I've been in that situation.
You'd have at least a nickel.
At least. That does, just like Beth said, when he sees Perrin kill his father, like that creates an explosive, violence inside of Perrin. I actually like that. I thought that was excellent.
It was like a full circle moment, right? It was literally
catalyst. Like, it was great. And it resonated stronger than maybe Layla being murdered. I think that hit a lot harder because you got to spend a little bit more time with those two characters and get to know Perrin a little bit more as well.
Right. Jeffrem in the show was pretty awesome. And actually in the books as well.
He was a good guy. He was a good guy.
A religious zealot for
a zealot.
Sure.
Hey, you know what? Mahatma Gandhi was a zealot, but we like him.
He was a pacifist.
What's a zealot? Zealot. Hunger strikes.
He was a tanker. Yeah, Gandhi was a tanker.
So
zealot.
Perrin did not.
Look at that hair.
He did not get to really develop anything with Aram in this series as much as the books suggested. In the books, Aram was kind of his... Yeah, go ahead.
They set it up, however, for him and Aram to become very close, though. Because if Aram was going to be a blacksmith and they got to work together, it would have been a very good bonding moment.
I bet you all Aram is making is cool crack pipes.
Oh my god.
I don't know about the crack pipe, but
That's what gets me, Beth.
I believe that, I think with it being Rafe, they might have made him that, Aram would have done something like put a double crossbar on the horseshoe or something like that. And that would have been a reference to the books. That's how Perrin found Egwene actually in Eye of the World.
I mean,
Because
I would
of the
agree
double
with you, except they have totally moved away from most of those things. Like the Easter eggs we saw in the Easter eggs were.
Yeah, they gave us a few in the end. They
They
gave us a
do,
few.
but I don't think you're going to see a double. We didn't even have Bella in the show at all. Besides,
so
the
you're
reference.
right.
Bella,
You're
no!
right. You are
Wait,
right.
where is Bella? I said Bella's
Where's Bella?
name. Where is
It's
Bella?
like I'm glad you did that Oompa Bella.
That's hilarious.
I love that one.
Oh my
I love that one.
Walking downstairs.
Walking
Horses
downstairs.
don't walk downstairs.
Sure they did.
So,
You know what that reminds
know,
me of? Instead of shark bait, ooh ha ha, Bella, ooh ha ha, Bella, ooh ha.
Okay.
so,
Okay.
which brings me to what
You're muted, Jen.
You're
You
muted.
yourself.
Oh no.
You muted. Your mic cut out.
You might have hit the top of the pause button there, the mute button on your mic. Nope, you're still muted.
Oh, did the mic unplug? That happens to me. If my mic unplugs,
Yeah, it looks like
then
you're
I'll just.
well. I can't tell if the lights are on in the mic or not.
Yeah.
I hate.
Oh,
I am
no, you're
not
back.
You're
am I
back.
back?
You're back.
Yeah.
That HyperX mic, man. I used that for a little while. It's very finicky.
All right. Well, while you guys are,
Yes.
Jansen, while you get your audio fixed, let me show some AI images of.
Ah!
Oh God.
Oh, no.
Wow, is that Hopper?
Wait a minute.
That is horrific.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Wait,
Nightmares about
wait,
that.
hold on. I just
Uh-huh.
have to say,
In the
say, I am not for the use of AI to generate art.
No.
I
Oh,
don't like
embrace
it.
the future. It's gonna happen.
No.
You know what? This
I
if
am
I
not
was
standing
barreling,
with this. This is my
Look how
public
long
statement
those
that I don't
fingers
agree
are.
with this.
look,
This
no,
is-
Frank, go back, go back. Look how long the fingers were. Show it again, Ryan.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
Okay.
Oh God.
Is that a thumb or is that
So
a pinky
bizarre.
on the?
Is that like Kevin Sorbo as Perrin?
No. All right,
Wow, I
we got
can't
one more.
believe you just said Kevin Sorbo.
That hair is.
All right.
Those are engagement photos.
That is.
Yeah. Engagement.
Join
Save
us
the
on Bell
date.
Time.
Oh my god.
That's horrendous.
I'm with you, Beth, but in regards to just fake drawings about fake people, I'm all for it. Give me Perrin riding Hopper over a unicorn.
Yes.
I'm here for it.
Hopper the unicorn.
Hopper the unicorn. All right, so comparing Perrin book to show, he is kind of the one that has the most consistent storyline besides the backstory and besides all that. What he goes through is kind of similar to what the books portray, right? He hangs out with Loyal. He goes to the Two Rivers. We cut out a bit, but he goes to the Two Rivers, defends that. And Alana, no Baron, but Alana's there. I mean, I thought that Perrin kind of had what we would see as kind of the most linear as far as books go. What do you guys feel?
Like linear character development?
Yeah, comparing book to show.
Oh.
You mean the most similar between
Yeah.
the book and the show?
Sure.
Yeah.
Most parallel.
Okay, yeah, parallel, not linear. Fuck it.
I mean,
strike that.
I think the only one that would be more accurate would be Rand. Rand's character development in the show was very similar to his characters in the books.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think there was a little bit missing. We only got 3 seasons, of course. A lot of what I learned about the character of Perrin in the books came later, as you sort of saw after he met Fael, after he kind of like finished with the Two Rivers, you got to know Perrin a little bit more, and he matured and became the Perrin of the later books. I think we didn't really get that far with him, but as far as like moving into that direction with all of the characters and all of the changes and all of the ways that they threw them this way and that way, I think Perrin's story arc would have eventually landed where it was supposed to, in a more natural way than having to try to hula hoop him around to get him where he needs to be.
Okay. I liked Fael so much more than I thought I would.
Mm-hmm.
Show Fael was so
Awesome.
rad and intriguing, and it kind of gave me some insight to what Perrin may have been seeing in this character that was written.
Yeah, but I think that the book Fael was probably one of the most realistic characters in the entire book.
I'm not gonna lie.
Realistic-
Fael is in my book. Fael is up there in my
She's one of the most. She's the like
top
she was the most
5
realistic
characters in the
or
entire book.
honest- as far as an honest thing of what people would do in a situation. Whether
Well,
that's
Jansen, is that only because we're able to see what Perrin smells off her?
No, because Perrin's smell on Fael was always clouded by his love, no matter what. Always. That trumped everything for him, and I mean, it even trumped, everything in the end for him. It had more power than anything. But if you look at all of the decisions that Fael made, they weren't all righteous. A lot of them were selfish acts for the good of her and her husband, and they were honest. They weren't like they were honest, and that's
Wait, honest. Does Perrin ever find out that Fael killed the prophet?
I don't think so. No, not in the books.
All right, so how honest are we talking here, bro? Honest, not with her relationship. I mean,
Oh, you got a bro.
No,
I'm talking
but
about. Here's the thing. It's
Dan, you are literally standing on that biggest hill of wrong tonight that you have ever been standing on in the entire time.
Oh my gosh!
I have been on this show with you.
All right,
you're literally picking the battles all incorrectly tonight.
Okay, I hear you.
Here's the thing.
I'm just mixing it up. I'm a blender. That's all.
I can say that as I am about to celebrate 25 years of marriage, I think I know a little bit about it. All marriage is, what a real marriage is 2 flawed people making something work. Correct?
Babies.
And I believe that is one of the core things that those 2 at least showed us. They were both flawed. Perrin tells everybody, I'm going to make mistakes. And Fael will make a mistake and lie about it and say, no, I didn't do that.
Behave exactly how a teenage noble girl would behave. Like how a 16-year-old noble girl who woke up or grew up
exactly. Hey.
having low consequences would behave.
you know.
I
but
will
you
say
still
that
gotta-
I think that the show relationship, Perrin was a new man. He was actually talking about his feelings. He was conversing. He opened up about his wolf things early on. That conversation between he and Fael never happened in the books on screen per se. Maybe like book 9 or 10, but this stuff like endears this Perrin, the show Perrin, is much more self-aware.
show Perrin had
And
already had sex.
show Perrin Fox. Yeah, you're right. Show Perrin Fox.
You know, show Perrin had already been through it. He had a little bit of something. You know,
That's a good point.
Tell me
Book
more.
Perrin never, ever had it. You know, you have to remember that Fael was Perrin's first.
Yeah.
You
Actually,
know,
I mean, I think the other thing that you have to remember too, and going back to like the way that Fael dealt with like managing her affairs was I have to sneeze a little bit.
Bless you.
Bless.
Good
Bless.
insight.
Salutations.
Thank you. So I think I might sneeze again. I think
Three's a charm. Three's
Look at the
three's a
sun.
charm.
Look at the sun. Think of the sun. There you
No,
go.
no,
Oh
no more.
Lord. Okay.
No more
No,
blessing.
the thing about Fael is that look at how she was raised and who she was raised by and where she comes from.
Dark friend.
And
A dark friend.
well,
Yeah.
no, I'm talking about book Fael because you were talking about honesty,
Yeah.
right? And when she killed Massima, and she actually made a comment about Perrin not needing to know because that's just one thing that he didn't have to deal with or worry about anymore. Like that was her job as his wife. Like
She
is to take
said that a
care of
few
business.
times.
It's to take care of business, and because that's what her mother did for her father, and that's the way Saldean couples worked as a partnership. That's what made their marriage work. And Fael comes from a different background. She comes from a very
Yeah, a lot of slappers.
Not aristocracy.
What?
So right,
She comes from
right.
she comes from aristocracy, from a very politically oriented background, and
Nobility.
she and this is the thing, Fael in a lot of ways reminds me of a less chaotic Matt. Matt didn't ever want to be a leader. Matt didn't want to be, I'm not a bloody lord, right? He's like, I'm not a bloody lord, but he was meant for greatness. He was meant to be in that role. Whereas Fael didn't want that role either. She fled from it. She ran away from it, but she was born to do it. So she had these tools. And when push comes to shove, she's gonna stand on business and do what needs to get done. And at the end of the day, whether you like Fael or not, yeah, she was 16 years old. She was a little girl trying to be a grown up. She ended up in the books, ended up being a grown up. She stood on business. She did what she needed to do, and that was being the grounding that Perrin needed to come back to the world and be us a little too much, in my opinion. Perrin was definitely codependent. He had his issues, but Fael stood on business and got shit done.
This sounds a little bit to me like a True Detective thing, where it's like this guy he had issues at work, and he shared them with his wife, and his wife decided to take matters into her own hand and fucking kill the guy. Yeah, I've seen it. NCIS. I've seen it a million times. I don't watch NCIS, but this does seem like if Perrin had not talked to his wife, then Massima would have been alive and didn't necessarily need to die.
I sort of disagree.
All right, go for it.
The Aes Sedai also were saying it's, and some of the wise ones also had come to the conclusion that Massima probably needed to be taken out. So I think it was a decision.
You don't think the pattern had a spot for Massima?
a
No,
dead
but
spot.
you forget Grendel had used compulsion on Messima. He would have never stopped. He had to die.
He had to fucking die.
Well, that's all right. That's controversial.
I mean, Fael didn't know that, but I mean, I guess the ends justify the means.
Dude, as soon as Messima saw Fael, what did he say? Take her. He was, that's the first thing he said. He wanted Perrin dead. He even said in his POV right before he died, and what is it? The last words of Messima was, "Oh, he drifted into a sea of never-ending blackness."
Yeah.
I believe it says.
No,
But-
yeah, I think he said I would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for you meddling kids.
It wasn't for you meddling
Yeah,
kids.
he said to himself, he sent his best tool. He sent his
Kinky.
best tool, and Aram failed. He said that. He tried to kill Perrin, and he said that the Dragon Reborn appeared to him. That was Grendel, who appeared to him and told him to kill him. He would have never stopped. He would have never stopped trying to kill Perrin, so he had to die.
Well, all right.
Our first time reader, again, everyone, Tuesday nights, 7 p.m. Pacific. We are entering the last book of the series. Our first time reader, Josh, says that Perrin is the only actual realistic character in all of the books. And he loves him. He's fallen in love with him. And it's been fun watching him fall in love with him because in my first read through, I loved Perrin. I relate. I'm 6'7". I related to just his obsessive desire to not do harm. This second read through, I find him. It was a little tedious. I think I'm more interested in like the intricacies of like the cosmology, the magic system, all the nerdier shit that I never really focused on when I first read it. So his kind of like powers are like less interesting than like Matt's like becoming like a major general and like Rand like channeling all crazy shit. Like so,
I will say as a kid, Ryan, or younger, I loved the concept of talking to wolves. I thought that was the coolest. When I played D&D, when I played D&D, I always wanted to talk to an animal. So I really liked his power, and I never understood why he was so angry against it.
I think he thought that he was going to turn into a wolf, like he was going to lose himself, and then it took that journey to try to understand the balance, which everybody in the book is trying to find balance. So for Perrin, it was he had Noam, who was a wolf, and then he had Elias, who actively remains, in his sort of human element as well as wolf element. So I think Perrin was hesitant in a way to embrace the wolves, even though that's a super cool power. That he was like, if I lose myself, then I'll become like Noam, and he had to find that balance. But yeah,
right. As a younger lad, like having yellow eyes and stuff, I was like, bring it on.
Yeah,
bring it on. That's the coolest thing ever. I'll just glow in a nightclub. And I just have yellow eyes glowing in a corner. Fuck
wolves
yeah.
dancing around you.
God damn. Yeah. And I look at a woman, I think, Hopper, what do you think? And he just sends me all these different images that I have to interpret. And one's like of like a succulent lamb. I'm like, all right on.
Got it, Hopper. Got it.
Got it, bro.
Jesus Christ. All right. How about this? What scenes in the book that you are regretting not? What Perrin scenes specifically did we not get in the show that we wished we got?
I wish there had been more of Perrin without his shirt on. That would have been fun.
Fuck yeah.
So that was a major disappointment for me.
How about Perrin without a shirt riding?
Yeah.
Oh well.
How do you hate this, Beth? Come on. That's the Two Rivers. That's Manetheren right there. There's the
It's Two Rivers Pride. That is horrendous and wonderful.
Abomination.
God.
That's
No,
so
I,
right.
honestly, though, I mean, in a more serious sense, the first time that I read through, I think I've said this before, that when I was reading The Wheel of Time the first time, it was a journey of myself discovering myself. Like, I was not always this fabulous staple of rainbows that you see before you. But,
Staple of rainbows. That's what I have you in my phone. Like, that's your contact name.
Exactly. But so there was a sort of gay element to me going like, well, Perrin sounds like the guy for me. So I was always kind of like, oh, he's got his whatever, Berlin is like putting ointment on his chest, and I was like, I know that's right. And then it took me the second read to kind of try to read him as just a regular character. But yeah, so I think I don't even know why I said all that, but happy Pride.
I mean, I think you're trying to relate to me, but you're just admitting you wanted to fuck
I
Perrin.
saw the rainbow and it made me really happy.
Did you say but happy Pride?
Yeah, well, it is Pride
Matt
Month.
was my first boyfriend.
Perrin was my
I'm
first
right
boyfriend.
there with you, Dad Swain. Because Matt was my first boyfriend.
Yes.
So we've seen a
I loved
Rand
it.
partner who was Rand's first
Rand's-
boyfriend for anybody. Anybody in
All
chat?
right.
Was Rand your first boyfriend?
No one's claiming him. Aw.
So I
Right.
brought this up on another show topic, and I want to explore this a little bit with you. Can we, and I mean this super respectfully, and if you guys don't want to talk about this, that's fine. We can move on. But can we read Book Perrin as being somewhat on the neurodivergent spectrum?
No.
I mean, wolves are talking to him, so he is neurodivergent.
Well, all right. Well, good point. But I mean, all right. All right, Jansen, you say no.
Perrin is one of the most intelligent people in the entire book.
So are neurodivergent people.
Yeah, we're not talking intelligence. We're
talking
talking
about
handling people and handling situations. Like just he had to learn how, and it seems that he's almost basing his reactions off people's reactions and saying, "Oh, okay, I should probably be more upset than I am." Or, I mean, there was a lot that I just kind of started to relate to a little bit, like not relate, but if I was thinking through that lens, there's a lot of things that would come through, I think. And so, Jansen, you have a hard no. What do you think, Beth?
Well, I'm personally not neurodivergent, so I don't feel like I have a place to like have a voice on that. I've read these books for so long. It's hard for me to like go and put a 21st century spin on
Right
something.
on.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I have a child who's neurodivergent. Their type of
So do I.
thought process is different than Perrin's thought process. Perrin, and I see people in chat like trying to label like he was slow thinking, slow processing disorder. I don't think that's the case at all. I think Perrin was just very regimented in the way he did things. He wanted to come at it from as many angles as he could before he made any kind of decision. That doesn't necessarily mean that he is compartmentalized in his thinking or neurodivergent. It's just
In order
that,
to understand something, you have to know all of its parts.
Mhm.
right. And that doesn't, I mean, so I don't have a yes or no to that, because I don't think Robert Jordan wrote him in the way that he was like, okay, well, I'm going to write this guy to be the signature guy
Right, no.
with whatever.
And I'm not necessarily suggesting that, but I'm just wondering if it's fair to read this character through that lens. What do you
I mean,
think?
I think if it helps you relate to a person, if you are
He's
and
not
you're
living
looking
for mice
for
and men.
representation, if you're looking for, if you are somebody who is looking for representation in the literature that you read, if you are looking for somebody to relate to and to kind of like have a common thread with, if that is who Perrin is for you, then it doesn't matter past anybody else but you and your relationship with Perrin as a reader to somebody who is in the
right on. I mean, so I think of like Confederacy of Dunces, where we have a main character that we would say is divergent, and
like Little from Mice and Men.
Mice and Men is also another, but
I think the focus,
Perrin,
like,
go ahead.
Just in defense of you, like Perrin routinely cannot read people, and it's almost as if like this ability to smell people's emotions was like the thing that literally helped him maintain like normal social relationships, because he was so bad at reading people.
I don't agree with you though. He's not bad at reading people before he becomes a wolf brother. We have very limited time with him before that starts happening to him, to us to really be able to understand that. He was a respected person in his community. He was taken in by the Luhans. He was good at what he did. He also came from a very small town with very limited social interactions other than the people that he grew up with. And he doesn't necessarily acclimate to change as quickly as Rand does or Matt does, but that doesn't mean that he was bad at reading people.
Okay. What do you think, Deathswain and Katie?
Yeah, I don't think he's on the spectrum, but I do think that he doesn't really know anybody who approaches situations or solutions the way that he does, so that isolates him in a way. I think that there's several times where Egwene and a couple of other people mention that, he is slow to come to a decision. Not slow like, unintelligent, but he is not quick to react. He wants to understand. He wants to deconstruct so that he can make the best decision. And he also understands his own strength, and he knows that he's stronger than most people, and that can be detrimental if he just goes, barging in like a bull in the china shop. So I think there's a way that Perrin approaches life that is different than everybody else, that doesn't necessarily, equal on the spectrum. It's just he doesn't really know anybody else who does it like that.
No, I dig it. That's a good way to describe it. Katie, do you have an opinion?
No, I don't know. Like, it's just annoying.
Yeah. No, I dig it.
I'm not like, let's do it. Let's go right now. Let's go. Like people who like want to think things through are like very frustrating to me. So like it's I don't know that I like read into it beyond like do fucking something. Would you fucking do something? Like that's that's fair to me.
What I focus on is his the blacksmith's puzzles, like his focus on that. When he's in the forge, he becomes very single-minded. When he decides on something, he becomes very single-minded. And like I respect that. But I also was recognizing his thought process, and going there was a bit of Tavernness always with him. There was always Tavernness.
Go ahead. The blacksmith puzzles are a sign of high intelligence. That's
right. No,
but,
and we're not.
I think more the
intelligence.
I think the blacksmithing thing though is a way for him to forget who he is and the plight that he's going through. It's an escape. It's escapism for him. It's me. Perrin being in a blacksmith forge is me playing video games. It's escapism. It's a way for me to forget for a little while all the shit going on back here. He's just in the minute and in the zone. Young.
That's hilarious.
Perfect. You know what I mean? I think it's more a means of escapism for him, of its normalcy. It's a harkening back to his old life, the way things were before the world got fucked up. That's right. That's how Perrin looks at things in the blacksmith shop, is, anything he can do to remind him of who he used to be and of home.
I dig it. So when this thought came to me, I was actually kind of happy about it. Like I was like, oh, a lot of things about Perrin kind of make sense if I look through it through this lens.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
go
of
ahead.
course, of course, it has nothing to do with intelligence, and I think
No, not at all.
happy to make that
No.
clear.
Yeah.
Happy to make that clear.
Yeah, no, I'm smart. Ask me. I'll beat you at Trivial Pursuit. I
Yeah.
guarantee it.
Are smart, you are special.
So Perrin, let's see. At the end, he is at in the Two Rivers. He is defending the Two Rivers, which is again pretty similar to his plight in the books.
Mm-hmm.
He's the only one that goes back. He sets up the defense. He sets up the balustrades. He sets up the. He has to deal with Lord Luke and this gorgeous man named Dane.
Oh, yes.
Dane. So the Two Rivers thing was a little different as far as the Fane ending and all that. He did get captured, and which does not happen necessarily right there. But it again, this is somewhat parallel to the book Perrin, right? Right, Jansen?
I guess. I mean, I understand that Padden Fane had to stay alive and everything, but I don't get realistically Perrin letting him live after Faldara. I don't get that at all. He was in Faldara and saw what Padden Fane did. He was admitted dark friend, and if he can go berserk killing all kinds of dark friends and everything, you don't let him walk away. So that was weird but I mean, I get what they did, because basically what they're going to do is, well, what they were going to do, because they're not doing it now, was while Perrin was on the road, Padden Fane would have been walking with his dark friends and stumbled upon Perrin's family, killed them all, and Tam and Abel would have escaped, so they would be able to tell Perrin that it was Padden Fane that killed his kids. Then when they faced each other, Perrin would say, "I gave you a chance," and then killed him.
Wait, Tam who? Oh, Tam Althor from the episode 1, season 1?
Tam Arlin.
Lord Bolton.
yeah. Oh man,
Timothy Chalamet.
Oh god.
Hammerbatch Cumberbatch. All right. But yeah, I think as far as their plot lines, they tried to tie him back as closely to the books as they could. Like having him there in the Two Rivers. Oh, Matt Stagger!
Matt Stagger!
Stagger. There he is.
Yes. Thank you, good friend.
And thank you, Stone Temple Pilots, for that. Music.
Is that a compliment?
I think.
I'm not sure.
I did like Perrin's relationship with the Tuatha. I thought him and Isla in particular had some really beautiful scenes together, and the way that she sort of imparted the way of the leaf philosophy to him was in a very Maria Kennedy Doyle, I think it's her name. Yeah,
I would call her MDK.
MDK.
Yeah. She had one of the best monologues of the entire 3-season series.
She was amazing. I just thought
one of the best. Her monologue was amazing.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. I thought she was speaking to me.
If you really like her and you've never watched Orphan Black, you need to watch Orphan Black. She's in that show, and it's freaking top peak sci-fi.
She's also
She's
incredible.
in Peaky Blinders too.
Yeah, Peaky Blinders. Yeah.
In the Tudors, she was Catherine. Yeah, she's amazing. Catherine of Aragon.
All right, who here can watch Peaky Blinders without the captions on?
I like it.
By order, the peaky.
Oh, yeah, no.
Adrian Brody's awesome too, man. Like, yeah, there's some good actors in that show. That's great.
I love Adrian Brody.
Yeah.
What is he even
Um,
doing there? It's like he's talking like.
I
Anyways,
saw
no,
something
no,
recently that
it's-
Adrian Brody was in, and I can't remember. It was older. I have to Google it.
He's a funky actor. I like
amazing.
him and I don't like him. So I think I like him a lot because times I don't like him and I'm like, what are you doing? But it's probably I'm just not getting it. You know,
He's really, really, really good. Very, very good.
Yeah.
What did you think of? So I'm trying to noodle out in the books. Fail's kind of influence on Perrin, trying to get him to embrace his leadership and his lordship, versus like the show's version of Fail doing the same thing basically. And which one did you weigh in better? I think is the question. Like, did you like the show version of that, or did you like her doing that in the books better? Everyone.
Dovey.
I mean, I like Fail better in the show.
Mhm.
So I mean, without like, I don't know where we like learn like of her full backstory, but like seeing her more as an assertive woman versus just a noble bitch bossing him around was like a lot sexier to me. Like her just being a strong, dominant woman, and him being a submissive man was very attractive to me.
Does that
Always
resonate
on
with
brand.
Interpreting that dynamic through that lens rather than through her just being bossy because that's how she was raised.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like the show better. Like fucking
I,
look it up, buttercup, you know, like instead of like this is what my daddy
See,
would do.
I
you know?
like
Nice.
the book Fail better
Mm.
because for a couple of reasons. The book Fail pissed a lot of people off, and as an actor, if you can do that, I think that's fantastic. But I think that the show Fail is like a brand new Corvette that drives really fast and is really nice, but breaks down. I think the maturation process for Fail in the books was better. She had to craft so many things in the books, and they showed her navigating through that, especially through her POV, and like thanking her parents for it and the lessons that she learned, things like that. Like the show Fail made her parents they made her parents dark friends. I didn't like that either.
Nope.
It didn't give her any like structure or anything. It was just like she was eye candy, and she was awesome, but she was definitely eye candy. I mean, you cannot cast that actress without knowing what she looks like.
Mhm.
It is just you just can't, and that's how some people are. They get cast specifically because they look a certain way, and she's going. Not that she's not good. I don't want anyone to think I'm not saying anything like that, because she is. But she's just like some people are blessed with the different look, and she has a different look. She's very
Right.
exotic, and you're going to look at that. I know everyone. Everyone has commented on it.
I would say that Fayo was one of the most dangerous people we saw on screen, outside of like Shael.
She rivaled Lan, and that kind of sucked.
She was, Perrin was just hitting Trollocs away with his axe and hammer, and she was the one doing ninja shit, flipping and jumping on their neck and stab. And
Well,
he
I
was
mean-
just like, and she,
I mean, if we're gonna go to
she
the-
was the one doing the neck stabs.
Well, if we're going to go to the top awards for who kicked the most ass, we're going to T-Grain, and then we're going to Avienda.
Hmm.
Because those two kicked the most ass single-handedly on the entire
Yeah,
series.
I would say that Fail was Aiel comparable. I think she would,
which is true to form with Shafail. I
Yeah.
mean, in the
Yeah.
books,
Yeah, good point.
the whole
But yeah, I
society
love-
is
Forgot
named
about that.
after her.
Yeah, I totally
loved
forgot about
watching
that. She
Fire.
crafted her own like a network of eyes and ears and everything. Like
Right,
Fael in the
yeah.
book was sweet. Fael in the book was sweet. She was sweet. I stand by that. I like the book Fael. She
Nope.
had her own.
That was all behind her husband's back, and it was shitty.
No, it was.
Cheers,
My
Toby.
spirit.
No, yeah. Perrin kept saying, "Oh, she needs her secrets.
Yeah.
She needs her secrets."
She needs her secrets. Ryan, does your wife need like all her secrets where she may like just execute a rival? Like you don't like your neighbor, she may just go kill your neighbor.
Well, hey, I just don't want to hear about it. If that's what's going on. Like, I need
Yeah.
plausible deniability.
I mean, let's face
That's
it.
what I'm talking.
You think every single marriage and every single husband and wife tells them everything? No way.
Hey,
What?
Hey.
No way.
You know what? If I kill my neighbor because I don't want my wife talking to them,
there
I'm
are
not gonna
guys
tell my
who've
wife
been married. There are guys who've been married for 50 years that have no idea that the smells that come out of them smell the way that they do. Believe me.
What is
Wow,
happening?
wow.
There's all
What?
kinds of
How
things.
would-
There's
that's
all
a hard
kinds of
left.
things that spouses will not tell their other spouse. Believe me. Tons and tons.
But
and tons.
honestly, like what she keeps from Perrin in the books show Fael doesn't seem this type of nefarious,
Why not?
conniving person, right? No, she's
Nefarious conniving?
What does she keep from Perrin in the books? Killing Messina,
What? Yeah,
Well, her
killing
little-
somebody who wanted to murder her husband.
Her little
Ron?
relationship with Ronan.
So
Ronan?
she wanted to kill. She killed somebody who wanted to murder her husband. That's one thing she did.
Did
What-
she get a
allegedly?
She got into a knife fight with Berlane. Didn't tell him.
She let the Aiel guy
That's right,
spank her.
dude. Come on, she can have her own fun.
Yeah,
Ronan.
she let Ronan spank her, so that was something.
I mean, there were a lot of things. You forget, Perrin didn't tell Fael everything. You know, he didn't. They even got into arguments about it.
You know what?
You know?
If he couldn't smell her, Perrin would be a freaking bobbing in the middle of the ocean of uncertainty as far as her emotions without a life jacket. He had no idea what the fuck was going on. He just smelled her and goes, huh, she smells anxious and a little jealous and kind of turned on. But he looked at her and he couldn't tell anything. Her face was just normal.
Well, it's like Beth said. Like Fael really was his first in the book, anyway. His first and only, and so he needed. You know, there's that whole thing where Elias is like, "I'm sorry, not Elias. Tom is like, what? Why aren't you yelling at her? What? She's Saldean. Like, why aren't you?"
That is
you know-
Elias. That is Elias.
It
who
is
said
Elias.
that to him.
Okay,
It
and
is
so
Elias,
he's like,
yes.
"I'm not trying to tell you how to, be in a
Right.
marriage, but also like you're in a marriage with the Saldean, you crazy fuck." And so.
You
So-
do
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
bro.
Yeah, and that went over Perrin's head. He could smell it, but he just didn't understand it because he didn't understand the culture. He didn't understand, Fael at that point. So he did need a lot of stuff explained to him. But he was naive and, kind of cute and muscly in that way. I don't know what muscles has to
Yeah.
do with it, but
No, it has everything to do
I
with
like
it.
it.
Cute and muscly, yeah.
I mean, of course. I mean, he had all those powers, and every man needs the wolves and everything to be frustrated by his wife.
There are two
Yeah.
wolves in each.
Guys, like, how hot are yellow eyes? Like, scale of 1 to 10.
John
Zero.
Dist,
All right, Dobie says 0.
0.
I mean, it depends.
Beth,
Are we talking like
yellow
jaundice,
eyes.
or are we talking like?
That's what
No,
I'm
I
saying.
just
This
have,
is really a liver
golden
patient.
eyes. Hey,
Lord,
that's fine.
Lord
But I have
jaundice.
total
What?
golden eyes. These are my eyes. They're just
Mm.
gold.
Oh my
Mm.
goodness.
Drinking problem.
Heart.
Oh my god.
I think golden eyes. I like bright eyes.
Golden eyes
I think-
great.
I think that
It's hot.
It's a not even a thing of like attractiveness as a thing of status, of representation of who Perrin becomes. He literally Lord Golden Eyes. It's a rallying cry of a banner behind him. And
no, I'm saying you're Fael in a dark tent and you see golden eyes. I mean, is it attractive? Are you hot for golden eyes?
Personally, no. Perrin's not my type of guy.
But
say
yes.
I can absolutely get behind somebody wanting that.
Dovey, it's a dark room. Someone has
Perrin's way too submissive for me. I am Perrin. I am the submissive. Perrin would need to not be submissive. He would that's me in that relationship. And that's dichotomy. I'm Perrin.
The mistress hates Perrin because he's too submissive.
I hate somebody.
I might like him because he's submissive.
I would walk all over Perrin. I need somebody to walk all over me.
Now this show's getting good.
All right, golden eyes.
All right, hey, get down there then. Get down there. Get down there.
I love it.
All right.
What else, Ryan?
What else? I guess we lost Jansen unceremoniously. What else is we have merch?
Oh, what do you know?
Yeah.
Look at this. If you want just a Bella t-shirt or the famous Dan on the rings
Dan on the wheel.
Dan
on the wheel. Nice cute Bella hat. Like, look at that Bella hat right there.
Yes.
Just a tiny little Bella.
Look at that mug. I love that.
Yeah.
No touch.
You want this on a
Bella hat.
All right. Oh yeah, if you want to be like super cool, like no tie. Yeah, so that's that link's in the description. We make all our designs ourselves. We don't use other people's art. Thank you for the link, Matt Stagger.
Yeah, I pop up a Matt Stagger. Ryan, Kenny.
I think we exhausted Perrin.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah. Like Fael after a good fight, we exhausted Perrin. We're gonna keep this up.
They are a volatile relationship that did not exist in the show. Their relationship in the show was rad. I really they were kind of my favorite relationship in the show.
I agree.
Yeah, she seems super down.
Well, no, Maureen and Swan. No, there's you can't. Maureen and Swan.
No, I mean of the Taverns, I guess.
Okay, all 5 of them.
All 5 of them. And Matt, hopefully will hook up with men, right, Ryan?
God.
Jesus.
We'll get to Matt.
All right, no LeafCast this week. We're taking our mid book break, but we're returning with the last book of the series. Shit's coming to a cold, hard ending.
Ryan, Taylor Swift she owns all of her original shit now. Let's dance.
Okay. I don't know what we're dancing for.
Yay.
Yeah, why are we
a billionaire to get more billions?
Are you a Swiftie? Yeah. What a power move. All right, Beth Dolman, what do you have to promote before we end the show?
I applied for Twitch Partner yesterday. I met all my
qualifications
for a Twitch Partner. So it'll be about a week or so before I find out. Hopefully, fingers crossed that happens. That's huge.
So it'll be called then Twitch and BethDoman.com?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right, I was just wondering what partnership
it just makes me it just puts like that check mark by my name, and it opens up other monetization opportunities on Twitch, which is huge. So
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. And other than that, like, that's it, really.
That's it. Twitch partner.
By the way, I'm gonna get bionic eyes.
What?
Wait.
I'm so excited. I am 51 years old and I am getting cataracts, and I qualify for medically necessary crystalline lens implants. So I will finally be able to get rid of these freaking glasses, man.
Whoa.
Since I haven't been able to wear contacts for the last 2 years, it's just been the bane of my existence. So
Are you
later
gonna
this
get like
summer,
Google eyeballs?
So no, I'm actually have to go. So no,
Google balls.
they're not. No, it's basically just permanent contact lens implants. So it'll,
Amazing.
yeah. And so I've worn glasses since I was 5 years old. So like I've never not seen clearly when I first wake up in the morning, like ever in my entire life. So I do have to go to a retinal specialist because I have to make sure that I don't go through retinal detachment in the surgery because like stuff going on. But
Beth, I don't know if I'd recognize you without glasses. Like honestly,
my first 2 years
Which
was without.
Put it back up. Put it back. Stop
who
it.
is this guy? Hey, where's the security?
Wait, bring back Beth.
Security, bring him in.
No, I'm excited for you, Beth.
Anyway,
That's amazing.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Are you gonna have like?
Very happy? Very happy.
Are they gonna be like progressive lens when it's bright out? They turn dark.
That's transition lenses.
Can you get one
Progressive
that has like
lenses are bifocals. If you're gonna make a joke,
All right, no.
take the insult. Get it right.
Progressive lenses vote for Bernie.
Yes, you know what? I would vote for Bernie. I would vote for him any day.
These lenses are the top 1% of the bottom 95%.
I mean, exactly.
All right, that's it.
I was going to say it is Pride Month, so transition lenses would be
Yes,
great.
Pride Month.
Let's
Happy
go.
Pride to all of you guys. My board even says Happy Pride Month for my subboard.
love
Yes,
it.
I have a subboard.
I'm wearing a dress.
Yay! It's our flag.
Yay!
Yeah, I don't really have much to say except for that. I am a monster during June, so just get prepared for that.
Quick question: How many of you guys are going to be at WatCon? WatCon's happening in 6 weeks.
I'll be
I'm
there.
gonna be there. I'm manifesting it.
I'll be there too.
We have to hang out and we have to.
Absolutely, yes.
I am
Yeah.
so stoked because there's a lot of people going to WatCon this year that I haven't actually met in real life, and so it'll be the first time that I'm meeting them as human beings, and so I'm so stoked.
I'm very excited to be going to WatCon.
Guys, this matchup is awesome. I can't wait to hear about it. I'm not gonna go. I can't go this year. So
You can't go.
I can't go. No, it's official. My daughter's getting married this year.
Aw,
we
I
have
love
kids in
that.
college. It's just I
That's
got
a good reason not to go.
Yeah,
If there's going to be a reason not to go, that's a good reason not to go.
Yeah.
I
That is
mean,
a good reason.
it's a good thing.
We'll represent you for sure.
I love you.
All right, everyone squash that like button like Rand squashed that girl. We will see you.
Squash.
What's that way, Mr.
Joby.
Stovey? Yes?
Somebody
Yes.
has to
You
promote.
didn't ask me if I had anything to promote.
Yes, Ryan, you knucklehead.
I don't know. I mean,
Wow. Wow.
we're going to get demonetized just by this. All right. No, Dovey, what do you have to promote?
I would like
Oh,
to
no.
promote submissive men.
Yes.
Because they don't have the balls to do it themselves.
Bye, guys. Love you.
I love
We
you
are
guys.
the Leaf.
Run for your life.